The resistance movement Hamas is currently in talks with leaders of the Palestinian groups to discuss a new ceasefire proposal received from the mediators. Hamas declared that it will present its final decision to mediators, including in the agreement a gradual exchange of 10 living and 18 dead hostages for hundreds of Palestinian prisoners. The proposal follows report of an alleged agreement by Israel to carry out a near-complete withdrawal of its military troops from Gaza under a possible 60-day ceasefire. Meanwhile, Israeli occupation forces continued their aggression in the Palestinian territory, killing 16 people and wounding dozens more in an attack on people waiting for aid trucks east of Han Yunis. The Mercosur summit concluded Thursday in Buenos Aires, Argentina, with the announcement of a free trade agreement with the European Free Trade Association. In his last speech as Mercosur's pro-tempore president, Javier Milei questioned the validity of the common market, demanded more flexibility for the bloc, called for ultra-liberal reforms in favor of commercial freedom, and warned that Argentina could abandon the bloc if the partners do not follow these measures. The Argentine president was joined at the summit by Foreign Minister Gerardo Barthain and Presidential Secretary Karina Milei, visiting heads of states including the presidents of Brazil, Paraguay, Uruguay, Bolivia, and Panama. New bloc's rotating presidency was formally handed over to Brazil. President of Colombia, Gustavo Petro, denounced on Thursday the existence of new foreign criminal organizations in the country that control territories to export cocaine. The president insisted that this is a problem of national sovereignty. Likewise, the head of state said that if Colombia loses territories, it does so in the hands of Albanians, Italians, Mexicans, Paraguayans, and Colombians at the service of all of them. The president also referred to the assaulted Senator Uribe Turbay and pointed out that they only know that the perpetrators are micro-traffickers. And at least 20 people were killed and several more were wounded when Israeli forces shelled and opened fire on displaced people's tents in Han Yunis, in the southern part of the Gaza Strip, on Friday morning. According to local media reports, 15 people were killed in a bombardment near the Taiba Towers, 3 in the Al-Sabra neighborhood, and 2 at a humanitarian aid center north of Rafah. These deaths are in addition to the more than 100 people killed by the Israeli army in various areas of the Gaza Strip on Thursday. It is believed that Palestinian armed factions ambushed an Israeli maneuver force operating in the region, prompting the army to intensify its operations early Friday morning. In Mexico, social and human rights organizations will rally against the anti-migration policies of the Trump administration to support their nationals. Several social movements and human rights organizations summoned for demonstrations on Friday to reject U.S. migration policies as part of an ongoing wave of protests. Some groups will picket in front of the U.S. Embassy in Mexico City as a sign of solidarity. Likewise, several events have been organized with emphasis on nonviolence and respect for the right of free speech. Overall, Mexico has expressed strong diplomatic criticism to the U.S. raids and it also demands respect for due process. And on the opening of the 21st International Book Fair of Venezuela, President Nicolás Maduro not only condemned the supremacism maintained by the United States and Europe, but he also ensured that such ideology has no room in the 21st century. The head of state presided the event, which will be held until July 13th at the National Art Gallery in Caracas. In addition, the book fair counted with the attendance of the ambassador of Egypt, Karim Amin, and Venezuelan officials, intellectuals, and politicians. In this context, the president insisted that for over 600 years, the great empires have tried to make people submit to models of hegemonic domination, slavery, and exploitation. Subsequently, the leader attached importance to both questioning the official narratives and building a historical one of their own to stand critically against Eurocentric visions. The resistance movement Hamas is currently in talks with leaders of the Palestinian groups to discuss a new ceasefire proposal received from the mediators. Hamas declared that it will present its final decision to mediators, including in the agreement a gradual exchange of 10 living and 18 dead hostages for hundreds of Palestinian prisoners. The proposal follows report of an alleged agreement by Israel to carry out a near-complete withdrawal of its military troops from Gaza under a possible 60-day ceasefire. Meanwhile, Israeli occupation forces